Us sax players are a pretty easygoing bunch. All we really need is a sax that seals properly, a reed that's in one piece, and of course, some music to play. Hang on a second, some music to play? Let me ask you, where do you get your sheet music these days? Do you buy books the old school way? Do you buy your sheet music individually online? Or have you sworn off sheet music altogether and instead just like to learn songs by ear? Well, no matter what your preference is, there is an exciting app I personally love that combines sheet music, backing tracks, ear training, and some of the most useful practice tools a sax player can have. It's called Tomplay, and it's not exactly new. In fact, I reviewed it on the channel almost 4 years ago. Well, not long ago, Tomplay reached out to me again and asked me whether I'd be willing to take a second look at their platform. What's changed? What did I miss the first time round? And would I personally use Tomplay moving forward? So here it is, the 2024 almost 2025 review of Tomplay. Quick aside here guys, if you're interested in signing up to a 12-month plan to Tomplay, now's the time to do it. They're running a fantastic offer for Black Friday with a massive 40% discount off a 12-month membership. If you want to check it out for yourself, look for the pinned comment on this video or use my link in the description below. Now, back to it. First, let's clear up what Tomplay actually is. It's an online sheet music store and it's a practice platform using interactive sheet music. You can access it from a browser by going to tomplay.com or via their iOS or Android apps. Now, if you just want to buy a single piece of sheet music, you can, but I suspect that most people will instead go for their subscription option. The Tomplay subscription gives you unlimited access to their entire catalog of music, and it gives you access to their interactive platform. And by the way, if you wanted to try it out for free with a 14-day trial, you can use my link in the description below. One of the really nice things about the Tomplay store is that almost every song on there is available in soprano, alto, tenor, and occasionally baritone versions. But not just that, they also generally come in multiple different difficulty levels too. So that means a single song often has up to 20 different versions, all just for saxophone, once all of the difficulty levels and saxophone types are taken into account. What separates these different difficulty levels is that on the lower levels, you're likely just to get the plain, unvarnished melody, or perhaps a simplified version of the melody. And then on the more advanced levels, you'll get the melody plus some extra embellishments, articulations, and ornaments. So you get an idea of what I mean by all these different difficulty levels. I'm going to play through a bit of the melody of one of my all-time favorite jazz standards, The Song Is You. Now this song comes in 4 different levels: very easy, easy, intermediate, and advanced. You're about to hear the very easy level first, and then I'm going to skip all the way up to the advanced level. Let's check it out. So now that we've got a sense of the store itself and the kind of music that's available on Tomplay, let's dive deeper into this interactive sheet music platform. Okay, so here we are in the store. I've picked a really well-known jazz standard called Blue Bossa, actually written by Kenny Dorham, but performed by Joe Henderson. So I'm just going to open this one up now, and we're going to have a look inside this practice tool. As you can see, we can actually choose our score. So we've got two options. We've got the Tomplay arrangement, which is essentially the notes of the song, the standard sort of option, or we can select Tom Improv. Now, we're going to have a look at Tom Improv in a moment, but I want to first take you inside the Tomplay arrangement. So here we are inside the practice tool. This is the browser version, so this is just accessible by going into your desktop browser. Let's have a quick listen to what this actually sounds like. If I click play up here, all right, I'll pause it there. So yeah, it sounds good. Now, we have a few different options in terms of how we want to use our backing track. So if we actually have a look at the top left-hand corner, and I click this drop-down box, you can see we've got bass, drums, piano, and alto saxophone, and we can actually pull out the alto saxophone if we wanted to, mute that, click play, and then we would just have the backing track. This is great for practicing the melody by yourself, obviously, but it's also great for improvising over the top of these tunes. Next up, we have, of course, the tempo of the piece. Now, if I just move this around slightly, we were at 170, we can drop it back to 153, or we can drop it all the way back to 128, right? On the speeding up side, we can put it to 212, or, okay, that's it. We can only put it up to 212. But that's okay. That still gives us 4 different options for tempo. If we play it back at 212, let's have a listen to what that sounds like. So that would be on the very upper level of the tempo we would play a bossa nova at, but you know, could be done. If we go all the way back down to the slowest tempo we can get, let's have a quick listen to that. So what I think is most impressive about this is even at the very slowest tempo, there's not that much artifacting going on in the backing track. So normally when you slow a track down, it gets really jangly and you can start to hear the compression in the audio. But it actually does quite a good job when you slow it right down. You don't really get the sense of that too much. So I'm pretty impressed with the tempo feature within Tomplay. Of course, we've got our big play tool there. Then to the right of that, we've got the record function. Now, what this allows you to do is to record yourself as you're playing, but interestingly enough, on the actual iOS and Android version of this app, it allows you to record video of yourself playing as well. And so you get the audio and the video, which is really, really cool. I am a big believer in recording yourself as you practice. It completely changes how you view your own playing. If you have a listen to a recording of yourself, it can be difficult sometimes. It makes for some pretty difficult listening, but it's so crucial in order to be able to find areas of improvement and really listen to our intonation and articulation and those sorts of things. Another wonderful tool, especially for beginners, is the ability to be able to click on this visual tab here and open up a fingering chart. So as you can see, as I scroll through and click on different notes, it's showing me the fingerings as we go along. And in fact, if I just play the track, have a look what happens. You get that live feed of the fingerings as they go along. So what a wonderful tool that is. And just so you know, I tried this out on a couple of other tunes which went into the altissimo range, and funnily enough, they actually have all the altissimo fingerings on there as well, and I was really impressed by that. So that's a great tool, especially designed for beginners and intermediates. All right, next up we have the classic metronome. Not too much to say about that one. We can put that to any tempo we like. So again, if we just wanted to play through a song without the backing track, we just wanted to have it with the metronome, we can do that. Metronomes, of course, are essential tools for any musicians. We have the tuning fork below that. So what this is essentially just a concert pitch tuning note. It's not the same as having a chromatic tuner, but in terms of your ear development, it's actually more beneficial for you to tune to a piano or a tuning fork rather than a chromatic tuner, because a chromatic tuner already tells you where you are, right? If you're sharp or flat, tuning to a piano forces you to actually hear that for yourself. Next to that, we have the edit score function. So let's just say, for example, that there was a note that was giving us a little bit of trouble. I'll just say it's the F for argument's sake, right? We can circle that. You can change the thickness of the line. You can change the color of the line. You can also write a little bit of text. Click wherever you want and go, watch out. We can add notes as we go along. So if you're learning a song and it might take you a week or two, you can add little practice notes. Then we've got the highlight tool. Once again, you can use it to highlight certain phrases. The draw tool we've already looked at, and the annotate tool is if you want to add some more information to the chart. So let's say that we wanted to put a forte there, we can do that. And then the very next bar down to triple P, you can do that. Once you've edited the score, if you look up here and click on My Score, you can remove the annotations by clicking Without Annotations, and then you can go back to what you've been doing by selecting My Score again. Next to the Edit Score feature, we've got another wonderful feature called the Loop feature, and this is such an interesting and exciting tool to have as you're trying to learn a piece of music. So if I drag these bars around what I want to loop, let's just say the first 4 bars, I'll click play and then let's have a listen to what actually happens. Oh, let me move this back to a normal tempo. All right. And that will keep going on forever as we've looped that section. So if there's a really tricky bar or set of bars that you want to play, it's such a great tool. Next, we have the print feature, and by default, I believe Tomplay gives you 4 scores that you can print per month. So they do have a limit on this, I suppose for copyright reasons. But if you select the print feature, you will get just a normal PDF view of the music that you're looking at. So if you prefer to play with paper music, then you can do that as well. Under the settings, there's just basic settings for performance and scroll modes and things like that. I've found that I haven't really had to play around with this too much, but that will give you a few extra little options there as well. Right, so now that you've seen what the normal Tomplay view looks like, let's have a look at this other option, which is Tom Improv. So here we are inside Tom Improv, and what you'll notice is that we have the first bar and a half of the melody written out, and then we've just got chords. We've got the notes of the chords written out, and if I just click play now, you can actually hear the melody just continues as we go along, but you're given just that first piece of the phrase in order to establish what the notes are, and from there on in, it's up to your ears to be able to work out the rest of the notes. What a fantastic feature. I love that you can not only learn a melody by ear, and of course you can slow the track down as you're doing that, but you can also see the notes of the chords. And so when it comes to improvising, you have got your note choices essentially laid out for you. You can see harmonically what's happening. It's easy to pick, or easier to pick, the guide tones as you play. And it's just a great tool for someone who's just coming to grips with improvisation. As we scroll through the rest of the song, you can see once again all of the chords written out for you. So that's Tom Improv, and that's a fantastic feature that is available on most of the scores inside of Tomplay. So now you've seen all the features of Tomplay, we've come to the all-important question of this video. What do I think about Tomplay? Well, before answering that question, I want to say that Tomplay are the sponsor of this video, and I am a Tomplay affiliate. And so you're probably thinking, well, of course he's going to say it's great. But I can say this with absolutely no hesitation. There is nothing else out there, at least right now, quite like Tomplay. The combination of features Tomplay has, along with the ever-growing library of music, means it stands alone in its category. Now, the first time I reviewed Tomplay almost 4 years ago, it became quickly apparent to me that this was going to be a fantastic tool for saxophone students, beginners, intermediates, and even advanced level players. I love all the options for different difficulty levels, different saxophone types, the mixer, different tempos, and that interactive fingering chart. But as a professional player, I didn't necessarily see myself using Tomplay much other than as a teaching tool. What's changed for me this time round is seeing this growing list of jazz standards and being reminded how valuable it is just to have these mixable backing tracks. If I wanted to, I could practice with a chordless trio, just me, bass, and drums. Or how about just duo with the bass? For me, just those features alone are worth the price of subscription. For sax students especially, I think Tomplay captures the essence of what's fun about playing the saxophone, and that is exploring great songs and having all the tools at hand to make learning them as seamless as possible. For professionals, I think as long as they continue to expand their library and maintain the quality of their backing tracks, it will continue being a useful tool for years to come. So that's it. If you're a current Tomplay user, let me know in the comments what you think about the platform and if there's any features that you'd love to see added in future. And don't forget, you can get full access to Tomplay for free for 14 days just by using my affiliate link in the description or the pinned comment below. Now don't forget, if you're lucky enough to be watching this video before the end of the 2024 Black Friday weekend, well, Tomplay are currently running 40% off their annual subscription. So you're going to want to make use of that now while you can. Now, do you want to hear me play 18 of the most famous sax lines in history on Tomplay? Well, you can check out this video here. Or perhaps you want to learn more about learning the saxophone. If so, just click over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the SaxTuition YouTube channel for more great saxophone content, and I'll see you all again soon.